Hey, this is Terra Invicta, episode 112. And it's time to play some Dungeons and or Dragons. So we last left off revisiting old haunts, revisiting Calabar, talking with all the various people that you had left behind there way back earlier in the campaign. And now it's time to continue on, kind of going back through the past. And you need to touch base with the people at the Isle of Dread. And then, in theory, you're going to go to Scuttle Cove as well to recruit the Jade Ravens. But I want to take a moment here just to make sure we're all on the same page about like what your guys' plans are, who you actually care about recruiting, and for what purposes. First question for me would be, is there anything else in Calabar you still want to do?
My only thought was Harpo is here, so
Yes.
do we want to do that first?
Yeah, you could
I
go
feel
to
like we
Harpo.
kind of should, right? Since he's here. Or we could drag him along with us.
Yeah, that was what I was thinking, right? Is you just drag him along. Though there is the question of how you're going to get to the Isle of Dread. I mean, it is much closer now than it was long ago, because it got transported off the West African coast. But it's still,
I mean, we have the ability to teleport.
Yes, but you're also high-level characters who can teleport. So that was my question, is what does that all look like?
So the issue with Harpo is just that we can't remove him from his little skiff.
He has been cursed by the Genie Synod, which supposedly is in the Feywild, and you have to convince the Genie Synod to lift said curse, or find some way to subvert it, but then you will anger the Genie Synod, right?
But the curse is that he can't leave his little rowboat.
Yes, the curse, and he can't like give wishes to anybody. Like he's no longer really a genie in that sense.
Have we tried just rubbing the boat?
Like a genie lamp?
Yeah.
No, I don't believe you have. But
well, the main
reason I was asking that is because that just means we can move him with the rowboat then.
Didn't we also promise the genies that we wouldn't try anything else?
Did,
otherwise
exactly.
We would make enemies out of them?
The big thing with Harpo is that Jordan has, Audrin specifically, has a bunch of things he wants to and / needs to accomplish at the end of the campaign here, involving like restoring the sanity of the tieflings, reversing any possible savage tide, redeeming the shadow pearls generally so they don't go off, right? And he knows that one possible route to do those things is to use Harpo's wish, right? That's a very powerful. I mean, as far as you guys learned, Harpo's wish, the bad one that got him in trouble, led to the death of an entire pantheon of gods. So, part of this is, and maybe we talked about this before, but part of it's like, it's that Harpo is powerful. That's probably part of it. But also it probably has something to do with the way that person who used the wish worded said wish, right? But it's Audrin, and I assume that Audrin would be able to find some way to word a wish in a similar powerful way. Yeah.
Of note, I misremembered. I have plane shift. I do not have teleport. And we, from the looks of it, don't have access to it unless we go get. Why did I blank on my own character's name? Oh my gosh,
Ren.
Ren, yes.
Well, keep in
I
mind,
almost said Teppan, and I was like, what? No.
yeah, good old Teppan, a staple of Terra Invicta. There is the new thing that is true about Audrin. He's part of the verdict now, which means he has the resources of the verdict. Also, technically, Audrin and Taequi are part of the Order of the Bitter Curtain. There are all sorts of ways that you guys could just hand wave, travel.
I'm just saying, I don't have teleport. Right?
Yes,
plane shift.
I thought I had it. Here's a question to ask. And I know that we were going to have like a whole longer conversation, Jordan, about like what you wanted Audrin's like master plan to be when you guys storm Demogorgon's plane. But is the idea with all of your allies in Calabar that we kind of touched base with just that like you need forces, right? Like you would probably have any of the high level people here, such as Deacon Ross, members of the Bitter Curtain, or these side story adventurers that might be able to, like just whoever is willing to join in the fight against Demogorgon. Is that the idea? You just need like bodies? Or do you have anything particular you want any of these people to do as part of the master plan? Yeah. Because I think right now your goal is to just go around recruiting people for whatever your master plan is. But part of that recruitment plan might be bringing a particular person to do a particular thing. Obviously, Harpo could be one person that you just start dragging along. And I think Benedict and Serge and Nestor were coming like usual. Yeah, I'm just curious about what all of that is looking like, so we can get a handle on how this is going to go.
We have every single NPC drink a potion that turns them into one of our 4 main characters. So that they have no idea who's who.
You go to the verdict, you're like, we need 1,000 potions of polymorph, please. That is an interesting plan, I must say. It's a plan that some D&D character might come up with. I don't know if it's a plan that Audryn might think of.
It's the final scene from the Three Amigos.
Right.
No, I don't think I have. I mean, yeah, I think I also thought the thing with Harpo was that maybe we help Harpo. Maybe we get the Synod, the Genie Synod, or whatever, to help, like, to free him. But I also thought that maybe we just go to them and say, "Hey, do you guys want to help us?"
Yep, that's another. I mean, honestly, you could just take Harpo to them and be like, "Hey guys, like this guy just keeps wandering around everywhere. Do you want to do something else with him besides like let him wander around for anyone to just find? And we can help you do something more permanent here if you want, or so you can make some sort of deal with them maybe. Bringing them Harpo might be a sign of good faith, I guess is what I'm saying. Yeah. I guess the main thing that Shami Amore said about Demogorgon is that his weakness is his dual mind, right? He's split. And that means he has 2 reactions to every problem. So a full frontal assault with you guys is one thing. A full frontal assault on multiple fronts from multiple different factions, some of which might be his allies in theory, right? Like other demon lords, like people he wouldn't expect to attack him. That is the thing that's going to like really damage his capacity to fight back and will distract him long enough that you can like defeat him and stop the Savage Tide. Now, all the people the majority of the people in Calabar are likely more of the like bodies category, just like we need more people as part of this force. But you obviously have the Verdict, you have the Order of St. Cuthbert, you have the Blood Sisters, which you probably need to talk to at some point here. But they're in other places besides Calabar. Like there are people with special skills and resources that you could bring to bear in a particular manner if you wanted to.
We need to find that polymorphed cow again.
Vital to the end of the campaign is to find that one random cow.
Look, the stakes have never been higher.
Audryn dies. That's the end of the campaign.
Audryn just suddenly has a heart attack?
Yeah. I write him down in the death note. Yeah.
Oh, that would be a crazy D&D item.
Yeah. Honestly, not a bad thing for campaign 3. I'll say that right now. We had the Deck of Many Things as an ongoing thing here. Yeah, why not? Throw the death note in. I'm still so happy that we got to have you draw from that.
Actual Deck of Many Things. Oh. I don't think, as far as Calabar goes, I don't think there's anything in particular, unless we did want to do something with the swords.
Yeah, that was the other question I had, was if you wanted to go back to Parrot Island and find those swords. I mean, they're powerful magic items, but also they were powerful magic items when you were level like 4, right? It might not be the same situation as level 19, 20 characters going against literal Prince of Demons. It might, I'm not sure they would, because I think your plan was maybe to try to give them to people and have them fight each other, but like the people you would be like, I think to do something like that, you would likely have to do some sort of arcana to beef up the swords before that was even really a viable option at this point, right?
What if I?
Which again is a possibility.
What if I did some sort of arcana thing to? Because it's a bunch of different swords and there's two factions, right?
There's two factions that hate each other. Yep.
So what if I basically moved all of those swords into one sword? Or not one sword, but like two swords. Like all the factions into two different swords.
Well, Audrin. This is interesting because it does dovetail two things very nicely. One, which is Audrin wants to combine magic effects. Two, we have been playing with duality as a theme throughout the whole campaign. I don't know how this would work, but it could be fun to like combine all the swords into a mega sword that would basically split the personality of whoever wielded it. Which could, like, if you gave it, I don't know how you would give it to Demogorgon in a way that he would actually take it and wield it, but like, it would be kind of fun to give Demogorgon a sword built from all of these that would make him fight himself, right? Where like one of his heads would join the Oaklons and one of the heads would join the Cavanites, right? That's kind of cool. It would just take some work, I think, on your part.
I want to start exploring that. I go to get the swords immediately.
You go to get swords? Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. I mean, you can pretty much just get them. I don't think there's any real reason you couldn't. There's nothing really standing in the way of that. So they're in like a bag of holding, stuck in a wall via stone shape. So you can you don't even have to take them out, right? You can literally just retrieve that bag of holding and take it along with you, right? Keep it in your back pocket. Okay, yep. We'll make a note of that. You have those swords now. That could be fun. And I guess, the question then would be Harpo, and if you had anything particularly in mind with any of the factions in Calabar that you still wanted to do. Now, obviously, they will, as far as I can tell, like the Dawn Council, the Order of St. Cuthbert, Iron Brigade, Order of the Bitter Curtain, the Collectors, and the Adamant League, and the Verdict at this point, right, are all on board. There are people in those factions that will help you and you can bring their resources to bear in some way in the final fight. We don't necessarily have to decide what that is now. I assume that like the Order of the Bitter Curtain is obviously going to be a part of this no matter what, because they are going to be fighting demons. The Collectors have been a part of this, working with Madoc, and can probably give you magic item support. That was one thing that we talked about. They have a bunch of like random magic items and things. That's their whole gig. You could go to them and ask, if you needed anything in particular, that might be something you could do. Is talk to the Collectors. And then obviously the Order of the St. Cuthbert is going to be assisting in some way during the fight. At the very least, just Anna's honor guard, right? Just want to make sure you guys had all your opportunities.
I don't really know if there would be a better place for me to try and recruit the Blood Sisters than Calabar. Like,
at the very least, you probably need to talk to them about, like, what did we leave off with them? You, like, angered them and then made it okay?
I angered them in, like, the last...
and then they were going to resurrect her and then it didn't work.
Yeah. Well, I don't know that it didn't work. I was just told, like, hey, we're going to resurrect her. You never have to do anything with her.
Well, Nestor and Audrin went and spied and saw that it didn't work.
Oh.
Remember?
Okay. Yes.
So I assume they would have told you that at some point. So yes, there probably will be some tension when you go talk to them.
And Anna would have been devastated.
And, like, there's the fact that that you're the Lady of Pursuit too, right? Which obviously the Blood Sisters work for the Lady of Pain, and that's a whole thing. One thought here is that you could just take it straight to the top, right? You
just go to the Lady of Pain.
Just not worry about, and that honestly seems more appropriate given that you are literally the Lady of Pursuit, and we know that now. Like, it probably feels like small change to go talk to the random people from Calabar that were part of the Blood Sisters. It makes more sense probably just to go to you're going to go to the Lady of Pain anyway, so. That makes sense.
Cool.
I feel like if we ask the Lady of Pain to get into using the city, City of Doors,
Yeah, sigil. Yeah.
If we could use sigil to get into Demogorgon's.
Yes, that would be a really big boon to the cause if you can convince the Lady of Pain to help you with the planar assault part of it, right? Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't the Lady of Pain where Vren is?
Yep, Lady of Pain. Vren is one of the agents of pain now, right? She's one of.
Oh, okay.
He's one of the people that work for Lady of Pain. So
I just couldn't remember exactly which lady he was with.
So, does that mean that Anna could have agents of pursuit?
I don't know if it necessarily needs to be a explicitly capitalized thing for every lady. It was mainly just you guys have Audrun's Angels as your party name, and it was the Agents of Pain were their party name.
Okay.
Yeah, as far as you know, that's not an explicit thing among the ladies.
I call my honor guard the Agents of Pursuit.
Yeah, the Agents of Pursuit. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's pretty fun. So here,
or you could just call them your followers.
Yeah. Let me look at the little outline I have here. So what I have in order, I figured we would go up the chain, right? So next on the list would be the Isle of Dread and Scuttle Cove, which are still in the material plane. And then we would go to the Feywild, which would be the Genie Synod. And if you wanted to recruit any elementals, like the old Igbaye elemental spirits that are in this region, to the cause. Then you can go to the Shadowfell and touch base with the Court of Stars. You could go to Menzo Baranzan, the city of the Drow, where the Lady of Pride lives. As far as you know, she has some sort of arrangement with Demogorgon, but if she could be convinced to forgo that arrangement and betray him, that's one of the big things that would cause him a big issue, right? As betrayals and things. So that could be something there. And then you have the Beyond itself, the Soul Realm. We could go to Thanatos, which is the realm of Orcus, the Lord of Undeath, Demon Lord. Shendalavri, technically, you could go to Malkenthet's realm, the succubus queen who tried to pretend she was the Lady of Pleasure. If you could get her to turn on Demogorgon, she's his consort, so that would be a big deal if you could do that. And then obviously there's the Gaping Maw itself, which would be the final thing, and then Sigil somewhere along the way here, going to the City of Doors. But the ethereal plane is kind of like the plane that connects the other ones, so it can happen whenever. That was my tentative idea for the things that are likely to happen. There are other demon lords and things that you could try to find out. You could try to find more ladies, right? If you really wanted to. Yeah, that's what's in store, at least from my outline.
For some reason, when you said that, Caleb, the first thing that popped in my mind was going up to people saying, ladies? That's the first thing that popped in my mind when you said, go find more ladies.
My brain went to Mungdal from Chowder.
Mm. So you grab these swords. I think the next question is, do you take Harpo with you?
Why not?
I mean,
so. I don't know.
It's not even that you need to go to the Feywild right now, but
I'm hesitant to take him with us right now because I don't want to upset the Synod before we get to them.
Why not take him now and draw their attention?
Because, when else are we going to come back for him?
Yeah.
Who's to say he's going to be back he's going to be here when we get back?
Right,
that's
too.
part of the issue.
Yeah.
It's kind of his thing to disappear, float away.
Mm-hmm.
And reappear exactly where we go. There's a part of me that thinks if we leave right now, he's going to show up at Scuttle Cove.
Yeah.
Yeah,
perfectly reasonable.
I feel like just our characters, though, I don't know, yeah, that's true. That could happen, but
will it? Because it's been a while since we saw him.
Mm-hmm.
Or has it been? It's hard to tell.
No, we just saw him in the other plane.
Yeah,
not that long.
I'm trying to remember how long it was because it was the 25th for a long time.
The last time that you saw him was he was traveling with the Mercanes, those blue skin giant merchants you met them in the Soul Realm, traveling around, and they had him tied to the back of their ship.
We don't know how he escaped.
Yeah, I think last time he said, Harpo said they cut him loose at some point just because they didn't know what to do with him, and then he floated here.
Caleb, what happened to my ship?
Existence.
What happened to the Sea Wyvern?
Yeah.
It's here. Remember, you sent, at the beginning of the 10th adventure, the Wells of Darkness, when you guys were going to go to the Wells of Darkness, you sent the NPCs that weren't coming with you back to Calabar on that ship.
Okay.
Because you have a wake portal on it, which allows them to shift back into the material plane with it.
Okay. Cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's part of this too, is like, do you take the Sea Wyvern? Do you want to teleport or plane shift or what? And where are you going next? I
mean, if we're going to take Harpo, then we have to take, then I guess we take him now. The question then is, do we go straight to the Feywild and then come back and then go to, not Calabar, to
the Isle of Dread,
Isle of Dread.
Cove. Out of character, I will tell you right now, I have absolutely nothing prepared for the Genie Synod, and I was hoping to actually be able to sit down at some point and prepare something.
Okay.
Going back to the Isle of Dread and Scuttle Cove, you've already been there. We already know everything about those places. It'd be easy for me to improv anything that we need to do there.
Okay.
Which is what I was counting on today. But you can throw me a curveball if you really want to.
I say we go to the Feywild right now.
I say we go straight to Demogorgon.
Straight to Demogorgon. Okay, sounds good.
Actually, I think we subvert the campaign. Let's go to the Court of Stars and take over.
Take over them. Yeah, that would certainly. Yeah, Anna's like, you know what? I'm the Lady of Pursuit. Join me. I am God now.
Oh. Yeah, I think let's head to the place I can never remember the name of.
The Isle of Dread.
Isle of Dread.
Yeah, well, and plus, even if we do plane shift to the Feywild, who's to say that the Genie Syndicate is here in Calabar, right here? You know what I mean?
You need to find out specifically where to go. Yeah.
Can we ask him where?
Oh yeah, that's true. Harpo would know. Well, yeah, that's.
I thought part of the idea was that if we brought him somewhere else, chances are that they would come find us.
They might. Yeah.
They might. Yeah, but they might be.
I think what happened last time is we just rolled a random encounter that happened to be another genie. And so I don't think that they were looking for Harpo specifically. I think they came across you and noticed that you had Harpo, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because again, the whole curse here is that Harpo just wanders wherever, and there's nothing that anyone can technically do to do anything about that. But they want to discourage anyone from trying if they notice.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna suggest, so what if we kind of hand wave this and be like, it happens to be near the Isle of Dread?
Yeah, it could be. The thing we know about, I don't think we really know anything about the Feywild.
Have we been there?
No, I don't think so.
Campaign.
The only thing that you've done in regard to the Feywild, I believe, is that you have, there was that one time where you were in that village and the elementals were there, those kind elementals that you were trying to get on your side, and they went back into the Feywild to lay this Igbaye priest to rest or something like that, and you were trying to defend their portal that they had there so they could get back, and it didn't work. So,
what spell is it where you ability is it where you cast your essence into a different plane, but your body stays
astral projection?
What plane do you go to with that?
I believe in our setting it would be the ethereal plane, and I think that's the case. The astral plane and the ethereal plane in our setting is the same thing.
Okay.
It's just the plane that connects the other planes.
Is there anything in the ethereal plane that we could recruit to our aid?
The main thing there is the City of Doors, is Sigil.
Okay. Yeah, let's go grab Harpo, and we'll tag him onto the Sea Wyvern again, and then we'll start heading to Isle of Dread.
And you're just gonna travel there by sea?
I mean,
there is technically a question of time.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how else. Because we don't have a way to teleport there.
Well, I think Caleb was saying that maybe we could say, "Oh, we get the verdict's help to teleport."
Yeah, I think that there are numerous ways that we could hand wave that.
Okay.
Right, you could have the verdict or the Order of the Bitter Curtain very easily just like provide you with the capability of doing so. Some sort of gate spell.
Okay, could we do that with Harpo though?
Yeah.
Okay.
As far as you know, he just wanders around,
It just has to be willing creatures, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't care.
Well, I just wasn't sure how boats are included in that whole
Well, I think the idea would be maybe you would just cast some sort of gate spell, and you open a portal that you would just go through. In which case, it doesn't matter for however long the portal is open. Anything that goes through it goes to this place, wherever it is. Right?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not particularly interested in a 19th level game worrying too much about with all of your like faction connections and things. It's rather uninteresting to dwell on any of those minutiae. Cool. Yeah, so I think we can probably just like progress one day here.
Oh, I didn't write down the day yet.
Have it be the 17th, July 17th, 1644. We're gonna lap ourselves again pretty soon here. And I think you guys get to the Isle of Dread, right? Get to Far Shore. Was that where you were gonna head specifically right away?
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
We've got to get the guy that we hate from Isle of Dread, whose uncle is also
Abner.
there. Abner. We got to get Abner on our side.
Yeah, exactly.
No, we got to get him to the other side.
So,
Miguel.
I think what we see, I think what we see when you guys go through the gate is then we hard cut on whatever dramatic music is playing there, and we get some text that comes up on the screen that says like whatever days earlier. I don't remember off the top of my head. It would be probably like 2 days earlier. Yeah. The day that you were at the Wells of Darkness. And we see Far Shore. We see a very battleground Far Shore, right? We see various mad Igbe warriors and things like attacking Far Shore, and we see the people of Far Shore, trying to defend themselves and hold them off. They have like palisade and stuff, so they're managing to do it for now. And we see like people like Vincent Catherley using magic to defend the colony. We see Avner Maravanchi and his uncle. As nobles, I think his uncle's probably more competent than he is in this regard. I think he has some sort of ability to fight, and but they have like their rapiers as noblemen, right? And they're helping to fight where they can. And Avner's uncle is leading the colony because he's the only one there who really can. And we see this intense fight, and they're trying to do what they can to like defend Far Shore. We also see Carla in the background here, like stooping down to heal people, right? Because she's like a herbalist now, and we see this little scene where there's probably an exchange between like Vincent and what's his face, Manthalay is the name of Avner's uncle, Manthalay Mirabanchi. Where Manthalay tries to say something like, I told you that we should have like conquered these tribes when we had the chance, and Vincent was like, they argue a bit about this. I don't have the particular conversation how it would go in my mind, or I'm not gonna go through the whole thing now, but we would see some scene like that, this tension between them and stuff. And then we would see Manthalay being killed, right, during the fighting. And Avner has to step up as leader. We see this little bit where now Vincent Catherley has like a moment where he gives him a speech here, right? And it's the sort of thing where you can tell, like we can all tell that Vincent Catherley is kind of the one who's now actually in charge. But he knows that like Avner, he knows two things, right? Avner needs to think he's in charge, right? But also, it's good for Avner to actually, lead where he's supposed to. He's technically supposed to at that point, right? Like he would be the ranking nobleman in Far Shore. And so we see this like scene where Vincent kind of like gives him a speech and tries to get him in the right headspace to do this. Avner's panicking. And finally, we see this, Avner does. He actually steps up to the plate and he actually does what he can in the meager amount of ability that he has, right? He does whatever minute thing is necessary, being backed by the various people of Farshore who are much more competent than him. He does what is required of him in the moment it counts to lead Farshore, right? We see this whole little montage here. And then the tide starts to turn, and we can all tell that Farshore is about to fall. And there's nothing more that can be done. But of course, it is at that point that we see the volcano in the distance send ash and fire into the sky, and then rising from the volcano is a phoenix, right? And Sarotany, who has been kind of growing and gaining power back at the volcano, and now this is the moment where she was also returned back to life by Git. We see her sweep across the Isle of Dread, and what happens is the Igbaye stop being mad, right? At least temporarily, whatever Sarotany does in this montage that we see, she turns them back to relatively normal. She breaks the hold over whatever call is causing them to go mad. It's broken for a moment, and we see a lot of very confused Igbaye run off into the jungle. And it is in this kind of aftermath that we see you guys pull up in the Sea Wyvern, right? So it's obvious that Farshore has been fighting. It's obvious that they survived, right? It's not overrun or anything. There are people that you recognize immediately. They're trying to rebuild and whatnot. They're putting out fires. And that's where we see you guys as the gate opens next to Farshore and the Sea Wyvern sails out. I'm assuming you guys would pull up to the dock at that point and whatnot, but what do we see from you guys?
I didn't hear some of it. For the sounds of it, Avner wasn't completely incompetent.
He wasn't completely incompetent. Yeah. And again, I don't want to overstate what he actually did, right? He still has the same stat block, and it's rather low level, right?
But he just happened to roll a 20 on a charisma check.
Yeah, exactly. That's basically what he did, right? He did whatever a nobleman was required to do in that particular moment that he was needed. And he didn't flake. Like he was panicking, and his uncle died and everything. Yeah, he did it.
How much of this info do we actually have?
None of it right now. This you just see the aftermath of the battle.
I think the first thing. What is the priest's name?
Vincent Catherley would be the guy you're looking for.
I'd probably go straight to him first.
And you can fly, so yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, you and Anna probably do this, right?
Deli sees it and goes, "Man, Avner really screwed this up."
Right.
Well, wait. Did someone tell us they got attacked? No, because Calabar also got attacked.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think you've.
So would we be able to assume the same thing happened here? Or
I mean, yeah, this is the Isle of Dread. It's full of Igbaye, so yeah, it makes sense. But yeah, I mean, we see Audrin and Anna. Do you go too? Since you can fly without.
I would probably go and try and find Carla.
Sure. Yeah. Okay, so let's start with Audrin. Audrin, you fly over to. Do you take anyone with you, Audrin, or are you just flying by yourself?
If anybody wants to come with me, if Takewee would want to.
Yeah, you could bring Takewee, Princess Carrier, like you usually do. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, so you let her down, and you're both standing there at the Farshore Chapel, right? And Vincent is there, and honestly, I think this is where Carla would be too, anyway, because this is probably an infirmary at this point. The chapel is. So I think we see all of you just get here. I don't think there's any reason why we need to split the party, really, at this point. However, Deli got here. She gets here too.
Well, I mean, Deli can wild shape and fly as well. Yeah, I was going to ask, are people still wandering about, or is everyone in the?
So it has been 2 days at this point. And the fighting for them stopped on the day of when Sarotany was resurrected. So okay. I think it is they're probably okay now. There's probably still some. They're repairing a lot of damage. They're dealing with injured people and stuff. but there's not an immediate crisis. It doesn't
because Delhi would go where the injured people are. So if they're all in the one place,
I think
Delhi would go there to.
Yeah, we all go to the Far Shore Chapel, I think is what happens, right? And so we see Vincent Catherley using whatever leftover spells he has for this day, right?
Delhi
healing people. Yep. Yeah, you guys start working to do that. You're all 19th level characters who can also help, right? So I assume you do so. You start to help out, and we see Vincent at the head of the Far Shore Chapel here, and we see Carla obviously going among the fallen. I actually think what happens first. So Audrin and Takewee, go to Vincent Catherley, and he looks up at you with a weary smile and says, "It is good to see you, friends. I take it that something went well. News has been scarce here, but..."
Yes, and we take it something went wrong?
Yes, it went wrong, but as far as I can tell, it went wrong everywhere. Did it not? The scant news I've been able to get from the Order of the Bitter Curtain has said so. Deacon says Calabar was attacked as well?
Indeed. Seems to be affecting tieflings.
Yes. Well, unfortunately, I think that whatever marked them as tieflings long ago was the work of Demogorgon, and he has some sort of hold over them. But Saratani gets Phoenix Friend seems to have changed that for now, at least here.
Audra.
Oh, and real quick, Jiro probably would have come with you as well because this is his home. And I think probably you would think immediately, right? Like with Jiro, it was the similar thing, right? It was the power of the Phoenix marks and stuff was what he's not affected by the madness as well.
Yeah.
So it makes sense to you.
Audrin smiles a little bit at the mention of get bookstores a volcano.
Yeah. And Sarani isn't here right now. You don't know if he has giant phoenix sitting on the wall or anything like that, but she's obviously probably somewhere helping out on the Alley Dread.
What is the state around town?
Yeah, and he starts giving you a status report of buildings that have been destroyed, people that have died. Honestly, not as bad as it could have been. Seems like people came together. I mean, the fact that you had already kind of organized Far Shore for defense against the Crimson Fleet when you did has, they were still in a state of readiness after that. So they were able to deal with this without too much difficulty. And you can tell that Vincent Catherley is probably the glue that has held this whole place together for sure. One thing that I think as you're getting the status report, Anna, you see Carla at the far end of the chapel, and she is dabbing at a wound on one Avner Maravanchi. And we hear him wince, and he's and he's like, "Don't be such a baby," right? And but Anna, do you want to roll an insight check for me real quick?
I would love to. Oh, only a 22. Ugh.
Here, let me try something real quick. I actually don't know if I have his character sheet up here. Nope. What do I do? No, I don't. Gonna randomly roll this. Oh, okay. So, this doesn't matter. I don't know why I'm having the roll here. It's not interesting if you don't learn this information.
Does Avner like Carla?
They both like each other. I think there's definitely a flirtation happening here, for sure. She's being the healer, right? But their banter that's happening here, once you listen to it for a moment, you can tell that it's flirtatious in nature.
Fate worse than death for Carla.
Look, Avner's having his Zuko moment, okay?
Yeah. And it's not to say it doesn't seem to you like it's progressed very far, right? This isn't like they're now a couple because of this one battle. But you can tell there's not any sort of malice or tension between the two of them at all. It's very casual and kind of teasing. Yeah.
Hey guys.
And Carla looks up and says, Anna, it's so good to see you. And then comes in and gives you a hug.
Yeah.
And honestly, even Avner looks at you and you can see he's relieved. You see relief on his face. He's like, oh, good, the heroes are here, right? And you see a visible weight fall off of his shoulders for a moment.
So you can't kill Avner now because it's Carla's boyfriend.
Again, hasn't happened officially yet. We're just seeing hints.
So we have to kill him now before it's too late.
Yeah.
It's our last chance.
Last chance. Yeah, exactly.
So, did
Avner, since you did such a good job leading the people of Farshore, we need you as the general of the attack against Demogorgon. This is a certified Jar Jar Binks situation we have on our hands.
It feels like if with David, Bathsheba, and Uriah, but it's like if Uriah was sending David out to fight. I don't know if that makes. I don't know. But anyway,
I don't think it does. But
it makes the connections make sense in my head.
Yeah.
But so did what was the priest's name again?
Vincent Catherley.
Did Vincent Catherley tell Audrin about Avner's stepping up to the plate? And
probably by the end of his status report, that's the thing that we as we cut back away from Anna reuniting with Carla, and you can obviously say whatever you wanted to say in particular if you had something to talk to her about, but I assume just a reunion. That's when we cut back to you, Audrin, that's what Vincent is saying, right? And though Menthle was killed in the fighting, I must say I was surprised when Avner, of all people, had his moment of courage. I won't say that he was the deciding factor in the fight. No, that was Sarotany for sure. But I think there's something in that young man. Something that, well, it's going to take some nurturing, I think. But there's something there.
You just see a look on Deli's face. She goes, Avner.
Yeah, I was just as surprised as you, Deli. And who knows, maybe he'll revert. But for now, he seems to have taken responsibility rather well. As the current, as the ranking nobleman in Farshore, he is formally in charge.
Ugh.
And he's just smiling at you, Deli, like, yeah, I know. Listen, that's what happens when you leave a place for a while. I can just make up what happens.
Oh. I just thought of a good scene.
Yeah.
Of I'm thinking of maybe having a scene of Audrin basically. Well, first of all, Audrin would go to see Avner and congratulate him and tell him he did a good job.
Yep. I you can see on his face that his instinct is to boast about it, but then he looks at Carla, who's standing nearby, and she's still tending to his wounds and stuff, and he tries to be humble about it. And again, you can tell that he's not good at being humble, but he's actually intentionally trying to downplay his role. There's something's different about something shook him probably, right? And he's reacting to that at least.
I'd like to think that he was trying to brag to Carla one day, and then she was just like, "You're such a jerk." And he was like, "Oh, crap."
He took it hard.
Jerk.
Yeah. Yep. I think one of the last things he says is, well, I hope your fight against whatever it is you all are fighting against now. Was it some sort of magical pearl thing? I don't remember.
Oh, that's that's a while ago. No, we're actually we're going after Demogorgon now.
Now my knowledge of religion and demonology may be lacking, but did I hear you say Demogorgon? Isn't he the prince of demons or something along those lines?
The very one.
And this is why I'm glad that you are the heroes and I am not.
Dolly thinks to herself, there's the Avner we know.
Audrin, like his face scrunches up a little bit and his head tilts. And he goes, what makes you think you're not a hero? What do you think stepping up to the plate to do a job that you haven't been trained to do, that you aren't ready to do, but you do it because it's the right thing to do, and because you have to do it because you're the only one who can do it? What do you think that is?
Well, I mean, I was given training as a nobleman. I'm supposed to be good at leading others. I can't say that I've ever, but I don't know.
Training isn't training until you've tried it and sometimes fail and try it again.
To be honest, Audrin, it was mostly other people, Vincent Catherley and the giant flaming bird in the sky that kind of saved everyone out of nowhere. I just gave one speech.
No.
There were some...
You gave your first speech.
And likely my last, because it won't be long before Lady Lavinia returns and things will go back to the way they were.
Does Audrin know whether or not Lavinia plans?
It seemed like Lavinia was pretty busy in Galavar, and she has Deacon Ross to occupy her thoughts. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So Audrin says Lavinia might be a while.
He frowns. It's like, well, I'm sure that when all this is over,
when all this is over, you have a choice. You have a choice to go back to what you already knew, or to jump into an adventure that you don't know where it's going, that you have no idea.
I've always left the adventuring to you.
Audrin shrugs. I don't know. Looks over at Carla and then looks over at Takewee, and he says, I think you've got an adventure up your sleeves more than you realize.
Sounds like a roll to me.
Ugh.
It sounds like a persuasion roll to me.
The one thing Audrin is just great at. If we all know anything about Audrin, it's how persuasive he is. I can add 10 to that if I need to.
I don't know. I feel like a 25 is probably all you need, really. 25 is a pretty good DC to hit. Now, again, this is going to take some time. And I think the fact that Lavinia, it really will depend on whether or not Avner is given time to actually lead and fail for a while. You know, like if someone comes back, the fact that his uncle and his father are now dead, it's probably going to be the thing that will force him to be this person. And as long as Lavinia doesn't come back to Far Shore soon and take over again and relegate Avner back to being a nobody, I think with this 25, he will get there, right? It will take a lot of work and it will be really bumpy. But you can also tell, as you finish saying this and you say, I think there's still an adventure, waiting for you. We see also Carla finish bandaging his arm, right? Or whatever it was. And Avner gives her a thankful smile, right? Like a grateful smile. And Carla kind of stops and kind of smiles prettily in return, and then goes off to, deal with someone else who's injured. But you can see him looking after Carla as she leaves, and you can only tell that like your words have sunken in, and you think that probably the thing I think you can see it all in front of you right now, Audrin, the fact that you think circumstances are going to line up. He's going to be penned in in the right places. He's going to have the right guardrails here, with Vincent being here, with not having to be the ranking nobleman for a while at least, and Carla, that you think you're pretty confident stepping away at this point and being like, yep, it'll work itself out.
Yeah. Well, I also could I bump the 25 up to a 35 with my Flash of Genius, and then in the event that Lavinia does come back, whether it's for an extended period of time or a short, whatever, that instead of like, okay,
going back
Lavinia's here now, I'm going, instead of that, actually helping Lavinia.
Yeah. I think a 35 will do that. You'll secure that your words have sunk in, and your confidence in him and the way you've talked to him in this moment, combined with the other factors, even if something like that was to happen, you think eventually he'll get there.
I think like in the extended, like, in the anime version of this, Audrin probably would also, whenever he says, I'd leave the adventuring, I like to leave the adventuring to you guys. I think he would like point out like, what are you talking about? You were with us in that jungle. You went through this and this and this and this. And what about this? You have your own egg.
Yeah, you're right. I did earn that gargoyle crown. But no, I think most of his responses are tentative and unsure. And you can tell that that's a good thing, right?
Yeah.
He's in a good place where he's doubting himself and is confident enough in himself. He has both of those working together at once, because he did it, and he actually succeeded long enough. And he did, like, if Saratni hadn't come and everybody had died and whatnot, and that would have been disastrous, and wouldn't have, if he had survived that, he would have this wouldn't have happened. But because he got the taste of leadership, and he actually did the right thing when it counted, and he didn't have an opportunity to flee when the pressure got hot, he is in a good place to eventually make it. The pressure cooker is built in the right way, I think. But with someone like this, it takes time to iron off the rough edges of a character like this. Sweet. But yeah, I think we see you step away from that. And if anyone else want to have a conversation with Vincent or Ravner or Carla or anyone. Yes.
So the scene that I thought of, I don't like, okay. I think it's a good scene. I'm not sure if Audrin would actually do it, because like, he doesn't want to send any weird signals or mixed signals or anything, specifically to Takeway. But I think Audrin views Carla as his pupil, because he was training her for a while.
She took she's an artificer. That's her class.
Yeah. So Audrin, I like the idea of a scene of Audrin, because he was also teaching her like how to use a knife, right?
Yeah, that was one of the first things you got with you, Carla, and Lavinia, was you teaching them how to defend themselves. Yeah.
Oh, I did that with both of them. That's right.
And there was a bit of jealousy there, where Lavinia was trying to downplay Carla being trained because she wanted to keep you to herself.
That's right. Forgot about that. I think it would be a funny scene to like, I don't know, like a replay of like, as if I come at her with a knife and then she just like completely misses like the exact basic things that I was trying to like you should have done this.
I feel like things have moved past that. I think I think all we need from this is just like you guys, your eyes after this conversation with Avner, right? Like, and Carla's moved on to someone else. As you're walking away, Carla just looks up and nods to you, right?
Okay. Yeah, I like that.
Right, because part of it is, like, she's moved on from. She's not a fighter. She's specifically focused on healing and doing that sort of artificer stuff. But and there's the awkwardness of, like, she used to have a whole big thing for you, and you're with Takewee now. I think all we need is just this kind of acknowledgement of, like, thanks for, and a lot of this is like her acknowledgement of what you said to Avner too, right? Like, she's nodding and thanking you for that in a glance and a nod. Yeah, and I think Audryn feels good that if that's the last thing you ever say to, or you ever see of Carla.
I don't think Audryn, like, if Audryn never sees Carla again, I don't think he's good.
Yeah, I think all is right.
Honestly, I think there was a period of time that Audryn forgot that Carla existed.
Well, she is a servant originally, so it makes sense.
Like, I feel like from the moment that Tavi died up until the moment that we came back to Far Shore,
you forgot that this character existed.
Yeah.
Totally fine.
Like, I even think, like, Audryn forgot.
Yeah, that makes sense. Cool. Anyone else? Because at that point you would be like, okay, people at Far Shore probably have their own problems to deal with. There aren't that many fighters here anyway. We should probably leave them alone and move on to, like, if you wanted to recruit anyone else on the Isle of Dread, now would be the chance.
And was Deli able to help enough with the healing that everyone's fine now? Or?
Yeah. I mean, certainly between you and other people who have healing stuff, Benedict is here too, right?
Surge. An actual cleric's here. Okay, cleric can help more than I can.
I think, things are back to normal. Yeah.
Cool.
What about the Ewoks?
Yes, that would be another place to go. You can go to the Phanatons and try to recruit them. There is the question of, you could meet with Sarotany herself if you had something in particular you wanted to say there. Though I think it's assumed that she'll probably help, right? Given everything. But if you wanted to have a conversation with her, you could head to the volcano and do that. And then there is the like elementals and Lathira, the fallen angel that were here as Git's crew that, like, attacked the demonic presence of the Isle of Dread. Like, you could go talk to those people. And then there's also the Igbae themselves. You're not sure what has happened there. So yeah, up to you where you want to go next.
We're talking about that one angel that was, like, trapped in the
basically
thing.
She was like in a ruin, and she basically was exiled to the Isle of Dread because she failed to keep it from falling to Demogorgon a long time ago.
I think it'd be worthwhile going back to her.
Ready to redeem yourself?
I was gonna say, I was gonna mention that we should go back to her.
Yep. Yeah, have her go rejoin the ranks of the Court of Stars. And again, like, any / all of these things, we could get it as like a montage. It's up to you how much you want to focus on any of these things. Totally up to you.
I think we talked to that angel for like a total of like 5-10 minutes, so I'm not sure it's worth too much of a scene with her, but at least having her on our side would help.
And if there's any, like, preparations that you want to be working on in the meantime here, like Audryn with more magic stuff, or anyone else with, like, Anna, at any point you could try to learn more about what it means to be the Lady of Pursuit and try to, like, stretch your powers. Any of that stuff can happen.
I feel like I would just kind of be, like, itching to get to a different lady to kind of, like, talk to them to understand more. Because, like, I don't know. Do I just sit and meditate to try and figure this out? Like, exactly. I don't know.
And going to the Lady of Pain or the Lady of Prudence at any time is perfectly reasonable thing to do.
Yeah.
It's safe to say that Deli would know that since her dad was in the place that had the like anti-scrying thing on it, there's no point trying to scry on him because he's probably going to be protected again.
Yeah, I mean, he's likely in Demogorgon's capital, and you'll be able to fight him when you storm it.
I just mean, like, there's no point trying to scry on him because he's probably kind of
not, yeah,
okay.
Yeah, Demogorgon's capital has protections against that sort of thing. So I guess here's a question then. Out of the stuff that's on the Isle of Dread, the Thanatons, the like elementals and Lethera, this cadre of elementals and stuff that got together, Sarotni being one of them as well, or the Igbaye, any of those that we want to spend a particular amount of time on?
Dinosaurs.
And yes, you could recruit some dinosaurs. Now,
recruit dinosaurs.
And any of these that like, even if you don't want to spend like a longer bit of time on them or have anything like played out in a scene, we'll still probably make a roll, right, to do things that actually have some sort of element of risk or challenge to them. I'm not going to just basically say you do it for all of these. But yeah, I mean, it makes sense that Deli would. Oh, here's a question for you, Seth. Where's Livrella? Did Livrella just come with you guys too?
I was gonna ask. I don't know what happened. I don't know really.
She's just been tagging along in Calabar at least, so she could have come with you after that.
I mean, I'm assuming she's helping us. Like, why wouldn't she?
Yeah, it makes sense that Livrella would come.
Yeah,
that gives, I think, each of you an NPC. Because I think it's Surge for Audren. I guess Benedict and Nestor. Benedict and Nestor are both kind of like Anna NPCs. And then Livrella for Deli.
And then Tavi and Lirith.
Yeah, Tavi and Lirith could come with you too. But I think we also, there's all sorts of things that can be done in the meantime to prepare for this invasion of Demogorgon's plane, and all of these NPCs do not need to come with you everywhere. Jiro is already coming with you because he wants to go back to the Isle of Dread. I was assuming that Lirith and Tavi would stay behind in Calabar to like help the Adamant League organize and like help Deacon Ross and Lavinia and stuff. I feel like they've moved past being your apprentices, right? Like, so I felt right. It feels right to me to have them kind of be their own people at this point and not just be tagging along with you.
I also prefer them to not tag along with us because we already got him killed once.
Yeah, it's not going to be your responsibility again. But yeah, I think Jiro. I think Jiro is going to go after the Igbaye here on the Isle of Dread. Whether or not you guys want to come with him and deal with that, I think he's going to try to do something there. He probably has a conversation with you, Audren, before he does that, before he leaves to do that from Farshore. Something along the lines of, as we've been talking about what has been done to my people and what, because I'm assuming you probably have had some conversation with him about this, because you have ideas about how to do this whole thing. I believe there is something to this weapon that you found, this chi you found in the capital of the isle here. I do not want to say that you must retrieve it from your ally, this Damien, but it does seem like that is intricately connected to some sort of solution for my people. You said something about the Shadow Pearls being subverted again. Please tell me. I need to know what the next step is for my people in throwing off the yoke of Demogorgon. Obviously, this Sarotni has done something to break his hold over them for now, but she cannot be everywhere.
Can she?
What is the next step?
I think your idea was that you could, when you reverse the Savage Tide and redeem all the pearls using some power source of some sort, whether that's Harpo's Wish or something else, you could basically reverse the Savage Tide and break this effect over the whole race, right? Because in theory, Demogorgon has placed these Shadow Pearls around West Africa and beyond, right? To set off the Savage Tide properly. There's dozens of pearls that you guys don't have accounted for, that the Crimson Fleet has spent months like seeding throughout the world. And since apparently Demogorgon has some other way to like set them off as a Master Pearl, now that Zenaya gave him the fruit from the Tree of Life, that will need to be dealt with in some way. And I think your idea was to basically do a 1-2 punch, right? Where you redeem the shadow. You don't just stop the Savage Tide from happening. You actually subvert it and you use that wave of energy and do some sort of redemption to it to like switch it and make it a force that will break this on the tieflings. Because I mean, kind of what's happening to the tieflings right now is kind of like a proto Savage Tide, right? Like whatever Demogorgon set up with like the Isle of Dread and various other like ruins and shrines across West Africa, and the fact that he made the tieflings long ago, right? Like the Igbaye themselves are like tieflings of Demogorgon, like they're abyssal tieflings. We've learned something about the history of the people at this point where like Demogorgon like tricked them into like taking some sort of mark or gift, right? And that will need to be reversed in some way with the Savage Tide. That's one way of doing it, at least, is doing that. And then Jiro is basically pointing out like, another way could be retrieving this chi, and it seems like to be the soul of my people in some way.
Yeah.
Lore ramble there. Up to Audrey how he wants to pursue it.
So it seems like
and right now Jiro's going to go to the tribes here and just try to keep them from, going mad again.
It seems like the thing that needs to happen next then is figuring out a power source or multiple power sources that can be put into one. And like sources of power that the collectors were the ones who were like interested in the magic items, right?
Yep.
And they had they were stockpiling a bunch of like cursed magic items for Delhi to eat.
Kind of not cursed.
It was basically like junk magic items that corrupted, cursed, useless.
Well, she never because they always uncursed it. Remember, there's a reason why I ate the one sword and it went really badly. So it's literally just magical garbage disposal.
Yeah,
there was nothing worthwhile. That's why they got rid of it.
Yeah.
Okay, so there was no curse or any demonic thing. Okay.
No, I don't think so.
My thought was if we could start collecting things that have some sort of power, things that have like demonic power, and then if we could subvert that demonic power, and then gather a collection of those things, basically like having 1,000 AA batteries.
Do you want to make an Arcana check for me, Audrey? Audrey is good at putting pieces together in like kind of magical hunches. I think you should make that roll, and we'll see how high you get, and I can fill in some details that Audrey might be able to think of.
Is Audrey doing this by himself, or does he have help with this?
He can always have help, yeah, because I'm assuming you're doing this over a long period of time. Okay. Deli can always help you with these. I do Flash Genius?
Yeah, we'll do a 48.
48 is pretty good, I guess. So, and I've known this for a while, but here I'll lay out the possible power sources that I know of, and likely Audrey would, that could be used to do this, right? You know that you need some sort of power source, preferably not a corrupted power source, right? Something good that you could then use to flood the tide, the Shadow Pearls with energy and like subvert them, right? To whatever this is. You'd have to figure out or find some ritual that would allow this to be done. You still don't know that part yet, though. You remind me real quick. What did you do to do the Shadow Pearl subversion in the prison? What did you use to do that? I know you subverted one of them.
I think when I subverted the Shadow Pearl, like I was inside of it or something.
Yeah, you were like dead, weren't you? And then you were trying to get your friends to like do something.
Oh, when we were there.
That's what I'm referring to, right? Because you set it off. Oh no, no. Yeah, you made a radiant seed before you set it off. That's what it was.
Because we made it while we were still at the.
I remember. It was the thing you did with Delhi. You took of your own soul to do this. Yeah. Okay, I remember now. Okay, so all that being said, the power sources,
it takes soul magic. Soul magic is what's used in weapons and like other magic items.
Well, not always. It can be any of them, but soul magic is not necessarily the most powerful magic, but certainly the type of magic you're looking for here.
Okay.
So the sources that I know of that Audryn would be able to think of, and you can feel free to, if you have any other suggestions and things, we can pursue it from there. The chi, right? If you got the weapon back from Damien, whatever he's put in his sword, that is in theory the soul of the tiefling race or something like that, right? The soul of the Yigbe, there's something going on there. You get that. You could use Harpo's wish, right? That's likely something equivalent that you could, if you phrased it right, you might be able to, whether or not it's the wish itself or something you could get from the wish, right? That could be used to do this. Another thing would be, I guess technically another fruit from the tree of life could do the trick, but you don't know what the consequences of such a thing might be. Typically,
and we know it's guarded by someone who won't let people have it for fun.
Super stingy, yeah. There are typically consequences for taking it, right? So it would be a risk, or there might be something you have to do. The other thing that you can think of, and I think this is the main thing that you are thinking of new, Audryn, is that Anna might be the key to this. The power of a lady, right? The whatever primordial soul that they have, as far as you know, they can't be killed, right? So even if, like, say, for example, Anna wanted to sacrifice her soul to do this, she would probably just be reincarnated at some point, right? Like apparently these ladies have been doing for forever. So, something like that could be done here. And then if you had any other thoughts, we could talk about.
So what you're saying is we sacrifice the Lady of Pain.
Yeah. I
have an idea.
Mm-hmm.
Deli's still a master pearl. She's just a clean one now.
True. Yep.
She doesn't have access.
You know that souls is primarily what you're looking for here, and so yeah, Deli could give of her soul.
Well, I'm just saying, like, because like they were calling her the master.
Well, wait a second. Well,
no. What I was trying to say, I was saying like. Yeah. There was clearly her dad was going to do something with her to trigger everything.
But that's what the pearl that Audryn took out of you was, and he already used.
Oh, he took it out of me.
Yeah.
Ew, I forgot about that part. Oh, right, because I ate one. That's how this whole thing started. Right, I forgot part of my own backstory.
Yeah, it's been a long time, so I don't regret you.
A long time.
And if you have any other thoughts, Jordan, we can talk about them. But that's the sort of stuff we're looking for, I think.
Yeah.
And then you would need some ritual. Which you could probably just make up, given who you are, to allow that power to do the thing you need to do. You've already done it once, right? You just have to, make it bigger or something, right? To touch all the pearls at once.
Yeah. The trick with soul magic is that you're using somebody's soul.
To be fair, Deli would probably be perfectly fine saying "screw you, Dad" and using herself to make it not work.
Mm-hmm.
Why do I feel like this is the new way Caleb is going to kill your characters? Like, you have to sacrifice
He's going to do it anyway. Might as well do it by my own hand.
It doesn't have to be a sacrifice, right? Like, it really doesn't. There's soul magic out there that is not, that you don't have to, like, consume to do this. Like, the sword is obviously one of them. Harpo's wish could maybe provide another one. There are other ways to do this. You might be able to figure out some way that Anna or some other lady could use their soul without harming themselves, if they are truly some sort of powerful primordial being.
In my head, I feel like the ideal way, because, okay, I assume that the pearls are infused with soul magic.
Yeah, they're basically like, soul chaos stuff. Yeah.
So where did that come from? Was that from Demogorgon?
A combination of Demogorgon and Zergoth, the elder evil that he's been communing with, right? Like the far realm weirdness. So yeah, I mean, honestly, the Shadow Pearl stuff, I think it is soul magic, but it could be the weird far realm stuff. It could be eldritch stuff too. There probably is some of that there.
So we need eldritch good guy soul magic, is what I'm hearing.
I don't think that exists. No, it does exist. That's Anna. That's the ladies. That's what that is, actually. And you know what? This is something that I've known about for a little while, but I think Audrey maybe thinks of it with a 48. That is probably actually what the ladies are. Is the good equivalent, in theory, right? Or some counterpart to the elder evils that live in the Far Realm. Yes, the ladies are probably originally from the Far Realm. That is probably true. Right? They're like primordial. Yeah. They don't fit into any of the other categories.
So,
yeah, and Andrzej, probably with a 48, you're thinking like, there's probably so much more that I don't understand about how this works that I could never even guess at without knowing more. But
yeah. But now I'm thinking like, okay, the first pearl that the first pearl that Audrey redeemed, he used some of his own soul to change it from this primordial evil into a primordial.
So really what it was is primordial chaos into primordial order.
Okay.
Right.
So Audrey used part of his own soul to turn it from primordial chaos into primordial order.
Yep.
But as a result, like a part of Audrey's soul went into it.
Yeah.
Now Audrey can't just partition his soul over and over again.
No, and especially with the scale of what you need to do here, you would kill yourself and still not accomplish what you need to do.
Isn't that the plot of Harry Potter?
Yes.
No, he's not making Horcruxes. He's just giving up of himself.
Well, we should talk about.
He's carving out
a lich.
Yeah. Well, what has happened to Audrey is he got infused with soul magic, right, with the chi, which expanded his capacity and made him aware of his soul as a muscle he could flex to do things, right, to actually do things with. And even though he doesn't have the chi anymore, he can still flex that muscle, right? It's still a thing. And he did, but because he didn't have that excess reserve of energy to use, he carved off a piece of his own soul instead, right?
But now I've also been learning how to basically use the muscle from others' places. So here's my question. With Audrey doing it, he's trying to mess with primordial energy with his with non-primordial energy.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think typically what you're doing is right now with all this stuff, you're doing soul magic to combat whatever this far realm magic is. Yeah.
So if Audrey were to do something similar with the far realm order magic, is there a chance that instead of partitioning souls or instead of partitioning Anna's soul, because the lady of pleasure will be fine either way, but Anna might not be fine is my concern. But
you mean the lady of pursuit?
Yes,
yeah, I understand what you're saying though. Like the person known as Anna might cease to exist even if the lady of pursuit persists. Yeah.
Right. Which is what I don't want. But then I'm also thinking, well, it's a little bit different because there's the...
I think you're right. Yeah. Because Anna is not a soul in the same way that everybody else is. She is actually whatever this honestly, let's be real. The difference is not the ladies are good and the elder evils are evil. The elder evils are chaos and the ladies are order, right? That is what it is. They have this structure to them. There are 9 of them. They are primordial. They each are aligned to a different alignment. There's a really firm structure there in a sense where the devourers are pure madness and chaos and with no rhyme or reason to them at all. Yeah.
So then my thought is maybe it doesn't.
I think you might be right.
That the power source, it's there. And it's really just going to be a matter of Audrey figuring out how to do what he's already doing with soul magic, but do it with primordial
whatever this primordial
magic
thing is. Yeah. Well, I think the risk is here. This is the risk, I think. It's not as easy as, there's no danger to Anna because she is primordial or whatever. I think she actually does have a soul. Anna has a soul, right? Or there's some soul magic there for Anna. The Lady of Pursuit is not made of soul magic in the same way. And so, yes, what you want to do is figure out how to tap into that Far Realm stuff without having to go through the soul and jeopardize the soul somehow. Yes. And that, I mean, honestly, this is going to depend on whether or not Anna can become the Lady of Pursuit in the way that she needs to, right? I think we have found our little dovetailing of two plots there.
Yeah, so I think...
Two character arcs.
I think... Who is it that Audryn's with?
Jiro, you're talking to right now.
Thank you. So I think... Man, I am horrible with names. Just absolutely terrible with names.
It's okay.
So I think Audryn's like explaining all these things and like figuring these things out while he's like saying them. Saying all these things to Jiro, and then he's like...
Jiro's like, I think I've followed you, kind of.
Jiro's just kind of like,
yes.
Okay.
So Audryn just goes, the thing we need to do is we need to figure out how Anna can fully embrace her origin as the Lady of Pursuit.
Yep.
So anything you can do or have any leads on.
Jiro like looks at you like, I would love to be of assistance here, Audryn, but I must admit I think this is a bit beyond my ken.
He comes to me, he's like, what do my people need to do next? And I'm like, well, and then he's like,
let me give you
glad I don't have to deal with that.
I know. Let me give you a lecture on magical theory. And he's like, sounds like you've got it taken care of, buddy. I'll let you do that. I honestly think that is where it ends, though, because Jiro has this is very much beyond what he is. He's not smart. I'm almost positive he has like a negative intelligence score. I'll double check, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. Yes, he has an 8 intelligence. Yep.
Oh
so
gosh.
He's like, I'm gonna go help the Igbaye with whatever they need right now, and I'll let you do that. You let me know if there's anything I can do to help you with what you need to do.
I just spoke about trigonometry with a kindergartner.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. He's like, I do most of my magical stuff by instinct and force of personality.
I look pretty and magic happens.
Exactly. Yep. And like Audryn has 30 intelligence right now too, so he's like off on some completely bonkers theory that, it's so over his head. You have 22 more points of intelligence than this guy does.
My modifier is the difference in our my modifier for Arcana is the difference in our intelligence. That's crazy.
Yeah, I think that's where that conversation ends with Jiro, but do you go talk to Anna about this? Or are you just gonna like do something more subtly here?
I don't think, well...
I mean, honestly, going to the Lady of Pain and or the Lady of Prudence is probably a good first step for Anna figuring out what to do next.
Mm-hmm. And we have an idea of where the Lady of Prudence is now?
Yeah, the Lady of Prudence's wisdom is Sophia, the goddess of wisdom.
Right. And we're going to the Court of Stars.
You are going to go to the Court of Stars anyway, and you could go to the City of Doors first if you wanted to. It's totally up to you how you want to approach this, but a lot of this does depend too on like what Anna wants to do in terms of, does she want to go to the Lady of Pain first, or does she want to go to the Lady of Prudence first?
I think I want to go to the Lady of Pain first.
Okay. Yeah. Makes sense. So, Audryn, do you fill in Anna on any of your theories here, or you wait until some other time to do it?
Severe weather alert. When it rains, it pours. I guess I'll just go tell Anna. Let me think. Because I don't think Audryn wants. You know what? I don't think Audryn does, because Audryn doesn't want to burden Anna and influence her decision with whether or not she
wants to do this at all.
Yeah. So I don't think Audryn
not yet,
mentions it yet.
Makes Great sense. Choice, because I don't think Anna would have taken that very well.
Anna, you could be the savior of an entire race and all of the world. In fact, everything depends on you. Honestly, this reminds me of Zelda and Breath of the Wild when she couldn't get her power. She couldn't figure it out.
I mean, it reminds me of Raya.
Yeah, that too.
I do think that Terra Invicta has been a little bit more balanced, and everyone has a little bit of like, you are responsible for the fate of the world. Yeah.
Just circling right back around.
Well, because let's think about this, right? Deli has to face Zurgoth. She has to face this primordial chaos. That is apparently her destiny. She also, she needs to face her father and stuff too. Takui needs to like fight her sister, and save the Yuan Ti race, right? By like giving up the blessing. Audryn needs to be the mastermind behind all of these various pieces and do the final redemption ritual or whatever to like stop the Savage Tide. And then it seems like Anna needs to like become this Lady of Pursuit to make all of that possible. So pretty cool. It's almost like I planned these things. Kind of. Skoji desu.
Spoken like Nomura himself.
Yeah. Anyone else want to do anything on the Isle of Dread currently? Jiro goes off to help the Egbaye with whatever they're doing right now. You could go talk to Saratni. You could go talk to Lathira. You could go recruit the Phanatons. You could go recruit some dinosaurs.
Yeah,
I mean, just Deli. So what was your thought there, Seth, in terms of like Deli recruits dinosaurs to do what?
To help them.
Just be like cannon fodder to throw at demons?
Dinosaurs are cool. Ergo, having dinosaurs help us would be cool. That is as much thought as I have.
And honestly, this could be you and Lavrella going around the Isle of Dread, right?
Yeah, and it's also just kind of thing like, yeah, we're druids. We think animals help us.
How about we have you make an animal handling check with advantage?
Here's the thing, though, Caleb. I have a +5 to animal handling. With advantage. What is animal handling? It's hidden the actual attribute. I think it's intelligence. No, it's not intelligence. Whatever. I'll just roll it. See what happens. With advantage, I got a 5. It's a wisdom roll. Why am I not trained in this? Okay, whatever. Well, that's a 19. Is this something that would have been happening over a course of time?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay, so 19.
I think that you could get some dinosaurs.
That's fine.
But I don't think Delhi has like a giant dinosaur army to help with the invasion. But
some dinosaurs is better than no dinosaurs.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think if there was any particular dinosaur.
The one dinosaur. The one dude.
Yeah, there was the Dimetrodon, but like, what is he going to
do? Be my pet.
Sure. Yep, there you go. That's what you've accomplished, Delhi.
Okay.
You found that guy and made him your friend.
I found Ucheche, and I got him back.
Yeah, Ucheche. Sounds good. Delhi's helping. I'm
doing what I can.
Cool. What else do you guys want to get up to on the Yellow Dread?
Wait.
Go recruit the
What kind of dinosaur is this? Like you said, it's a Dimetrodon.
Yeah, so like a kind of like a lizard thing with like a sail on its back.
Yeah, it's not gonna be able to fight really. Does it even have a 5e stat block?
Yeah, I at least have one in Terra Invicta somewhere. The original
What
one.
you need is you need the king
CR 1/4.
I think I upgraded it because it was like diseased and stuff and had other things going on, but yeah.
Still.
Yeah, it's gonna be your pet. It's not gonna do much more.
That's fine. He's my friend.
We need a whole dinosaur army.
Again, that would be great. Unfortunately, Delhi has a 5 to animal handle. So
Wait,
I just don't have it trained as a skill for some reason. It's just I don't get opportunities to train skills. So
yeah. Despite her love of animals since the very beginning of this campaign, she actually sucks at talking to them.
She got lied to by a giraffe.
By a freaking elephant.
Was it an elephant or was it a giraffe?
Yeah. I think it was an elephant. Yeah.
Okay, for some reason I thought it was a giraffe. But yeah.
It's ironic that you forgot that.
No, yeah, because the line was, that elephant's a freaking liar. That was the quote from Forever.
Dang it, it would have been funnier if it was a giraffe, because then we could just say the giraffe likes to tell tall tales.
No.
But no, it's a freaking elephant.
Mm-hmm. Sorry to disappoint you.
It's okay. On the plus side, that's probably the most disappointing thing that's happened this week. No, that's not true. No, that is true. That is true.
Okay, good. Glad to hear it.
Well, anyway.
Do we see Takewee go and recruit Lethira, the fallen angel?
Probably something she would do.
Mm-hmm. And you have persuasion.
Sure do.
And I believe that, like, she was already on the path to redemption, right? She had been recruited by Get to, like, help take back the Isle of Dread and, you know, to make up for the fact that she had kind of let it fall in the first place. And so I imagine this is not going to be a big thing here. I think it will be a question of, like, convincing her that going with, like, attacking the Gaping Maw instead of staying at the Isle of Dread is the right choice. Because, you know, she might think right now, like, oh, this is my job. I'm the angel of the Isle of Dread. I'm supposed to protect it. Like, maybe I shouldn't leave.
Right.
So what do you say?
Gosh, it's been a while since we've talked to this person. I think
grab her.
Trying to think. I feel like something that we would probably say to her is just that, like, now, what kind of angel is she again?
Oh, the fallen kind. I don't remember off the top of my head. Let's take a look. She's a Deva.
Deva. Okay. All right.
So at least according to the stat block here that I had for her forever ago, a CR 10. She might be more than that at this point, but the main thing would be an angel is let's see, what is it about Davis specifically? Divine messengers or agents to the material plane, or the Shadowfell or the Feywild. They can assume a form appropriate to the realm they're sent to. Legend tell of angels that take mortal form for years, lending aid, hope, and courage to the good-hearted folk. So yeah, like her thing probably was living among the tiefling forever ago, and like she was trying to lead them towards the good, or at least that was her job. And then I think she got indolent and just kind of did her own thing and didn't care about, like, maybe got swept up in the luxuries of the old Igbaye Empire, living as a person, right, among them, right. And then decided not to, like, she didn't see it coming, right? She failed to be watchful when the end arrived and the Shadow Pearl went off on the Isle of Dread and caused the Igbaye Empire to fall.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think we don't need to play it out, but I think basically Takewee's like argument would be like, this is like, I know that you've been working on yourself and like you've been really putting forth effort, and this is like your chance to like read like a redo almost, because like the Savage Tide is coming, and now it's not just happening here, it's happening in the whole world. And
I think part of it is like, is it going to be enough to like settle for, I guess we kind of saved the Isle of Dread, kind of, but like back to a state that's still worse off than they were when you were supposed to be in charge of them, right? Like, what do you need to do now? You need to actually take the fight to the person who caused this in the first place, the person you should have been watching out for all along, right? Yeah, like take the fight to that guy.
Right.
You need to be proactive instead of passive.
Well said, Caleb. Wow. Thanks for.
I knew that's what you were going to say anyway.
I know. You took the words right out of my mouth. All right, persuasion check.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Is anybody with me?
It's a good question.
If not, that's totally fine.
Who else is trained in like persuasion?
I'm not trained in persuasion. That's why I'm like, I'm not volunteering myself. But I feel like we wouldn't have sent you alone.
Probably not.
Audrey have come with me.
Does Audrey has persuasion, right?
Yeah, Audrey has persuasion. I can see Audrey. I mean, I was going to suggest that we should go there anyway, so I feel like
yeah, we could even just say that the whole group is there and you can get advantage from everybody, right? But what would you guys be saying?
Stop being such a lazy bum. Do your job this time.
Yeah, all right. Audrin taking bad cop. Audrin stick, take weak carrot.
Audrin flash of his genius and make 22 with 32.
There you go. Yeah, because you could probably lay out the various like we need you because X, Y, and Z. Here's our master plan, right? You are essential. Makes sense. Yeah, I think a 32 is perfectly fine, and we didn't need a very high roll anyway for this one. But I did like seeing that, right? Having like that kind of that reasoning for Lethira joining the fight in the way that she's doing here makes sense to me. I like that a lot. I think the only other things would be Phanatons. Now, I mean, let's think this through for just a moment.
They will die.
They will die. Like, do you have a plan specifically? How you want to use them?
I want to. Okay. They're not good at fighting.
No, at least not demons.
What are they good at?
Being adorable.
Moral support.
They're good hunters. Like that. They're like they're the Ewoks, right? They can navigate the jungle. They can be scouts.
So my thought is, a couple of things. Basically, I think that the whole assault on Demogorgon's
Gaping Maw is the name of his plan.
Thank you. I can't remember anything today.
There's a lot of names.
Anything. I can't remember. Okay, so I think with going to Gaping Maw, I don't think that everybody involved in the conflict is going to be at Gaping Maw. People, like, if we get people on board with Sigil, then we're going to need people who can help navigate through Sigil. If we, like, people that are at,
you could literally have, like, the home bases be wherever these portals that are going through the City of Doors to Gaping Maw. Like, yeah, that makes sense. You have basically supply depots and people on the material plane or wherever.
And I think the suppliers, the people who are facilitating, actually handing out, like, oh, you need
healing
food.
Potions.
You need healing potions. That are actually like the UPS the mail system of this whole thing can be the Ewoks here, the Phanatons.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
They better be better than UPS. They got to be Amazon Prime, baby.
in 2-hour shipping.
Yeah.
So I think the difficulty here is just like convincing them that the danger is worth taking. Or like, even if you present it to them like that, right? In theory, there's a giant portal open to the plane of demons. And if it goes wrong, those planes could be stormed, right? Or those portals could be stormed and then they're under attack, right? So there's an element of danger here. These are cowardly, raccoon monkeys. So
that's why I tell them, that's why what we want you to do is we want you to be on the safe side, helping us make sure that the safe side stays safe. Because if we don't make it stay safe, then everybody's doomed.
And again, you have a good rapport with the Phanatons. They like you from previous encounters you've had with them.
And then I hit him with the my secret weapon.
Yeah.
Also, if you think this magic is cool, and I just do like the just like what's the finger one, like the thumb.
Oh
one.
yeah.
Just hitting him with the old razzle dazzle.
I can't even do it right. I can't even. I'm not even gonna.
Guys, you have no idea. I'm so much cooler now than I was before. I got so many more tricks.
Well, if I'm gonna be like, if you think that's cool, you should see what people in Calabar and Farshore and what's the thief place?
Scuttle Cove.
Scuttle Cove. You should see what people there can do.
That makes sense.
And I try to get them hyped up about going to these places and seeing these things.
Yeah, I like that. All right, go ahead, Aldrin. You can make a persuasion check with advantage from your friends and the situation and everything.
I persuade them.
Oh ho ho! Look at that.
Do I need to flash of genius?
These are happening over like multiple days, I think, or at least 2 days. So yeah, you have plenty of flash of geniuses to use.
Okay.
Might as well.
I mean, even if I didn't, I had plenty. But yes, I will absolutely flash of genius, and we'll take the 38 crit.
There you go. The Phanatons are very on board with going and visiting all these places. Yeah. That's fun. I like that dynamic.
Maybe now Phanatons can just be a regular thing in society too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This could be the beginning of Phanatons as a player character race in further in campaigns future.
I think Phanaton Carrier Services. What is that? FCC.
Yeah. Cool. Well, is that it for the Isle of Dread? Do you move on to Scuttle Cove?
I feel like... Do we do anything with the dagger that's buried here?
Yes, that's true. You do have one of those black bile daggers here.
Do we somehow persuade somebody evil to use it so then they're trapped whenever they die?
Yeah.
Well, I'm wondering...
I mean, yeah, Audrey could always study it and not use it, right?
And
honestly, it might be
hand, so I never touch it.
Right.
Touching it.
I don't think you know. It's probably no. Well, I think it must be you kill someone with it. I think that's the likely answer.
Okay, so if because I think Audrey did pick it up and maybe
I think so.
Okay, so I can carry it around and be okay.
I think you know that.
Mage hand it the whole time.
Yeah, I don't think we need to worry about that.
Okay.
And I think it does make sense that you would grab it at this point because it's made of black bile, and you're going to be doing more stuff with black bile in the future. Yeah.
Well, my thought is that this could be if we get to a point where Anna does become, she grows into her ladyship, or whatever. I don't know.
Becomes the lady of pursuit.
That when she becomes the lady of pursuit, if she becomes the lady of pursuit, and we Audrey has the conversation hey, I have this idea that maybe a safe way to start would be taking the black bile dagger and trying to turn it into a not black bile dagger and using that as a safe practice run.
So as in transforming it to it's still being this primordial thing, but order instead of chaos.
Mm-hmm.
That is one idea. Yeah.
It's just a way for Audrey to...
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that is what the Shadow Pearls are, right? They're made of black bile, and you redeemed them. So you could do it on a similar... Yeah, you could probably do it with his blade, too. Yeah, that makes sense. And then you stab someone and it resurrects them.
Is just let me at him, let me at him, let me at him.
Yeah. Probably what it would do is it would be if, as long as you held it, you're constantly resurrected when you die. Right?
That would be a cool
Something
thing.
Like that. Cool. Yeah. So we see Audrey dig this up. And then I think Zondalan, who, we previously saw in Farshore drinking and depressed. This is the last time he was here. He... quote unquote committed suicide, and then you guys learned it was Luna who killed him.
Yeah, it was so sad. I was
here
with him at the bar.
I know. It was a whole big thing. But we see him happily helping you guys. He's helping out around Farshore. He is helping you guys whatever you need to do. And when you guys are getting ready to go to Scuttle Cove, he is so like he's eager to see his friends again, right? To see the Jade Ravens. You can tell that on his face
because he hasn't seen him yet,
mm-hmm.
and they don't even know.
They don't even know.
Oh,
yep,
that's exciting.
Do you guys get to Scuttle Cove then? Is that the next point on the map?
I think so.
Cool. And, Scuttle Cove was a pretty dingy, grungy city of depression and poverty and stuff. And it's not like it's suddenly a radiant city of hope and joy, but it does look better than it was. You can tell that people, it's not like necessarily like people are walking around smiling, but before they were like, you could tell there was just this oppressive atmosphere, and it really does not seem that way anymore. People are maybe a little skittish and nervous, maybe as if they're thinking that this is going to
be true.
Yeah, it's too good to be true, but you do see like the city has started to turn around. You don't see a bunch of like drug dealers on the corner. You don't see like, people conscripting people to be slaves in a galley. Like there was a lot of like, I can't remember what they're called, but there's like recruiters who will like kidnap people and like make them into like ship slaves or whatever. That's often a thing that would happen in Scuttle Cove. Various things like that, right? Like the Crimson Fleet was doing that. None of that is happening when you arrive back at Scuttle Cove. It is a city that is slowly coming back to life. And when you get in touch with the Jade Ravens, or the Order of the Bitter Curtain here in Scuttle Cove, which is what the Jade Ravens were working with them to like fight against the various bad factions in the city. You get in touch with them and you start heading towards their base, and it's no longer like a underground basement below some market, right? It's like an actual building. I think it might even be let's say it's the Minting House, the that one place that was like crawling with the UNT cult that was here before, that you guys didn't actually fight anyone there, but like Anna snuck through it and had a whole thing where she was like trying to steal papers or whatever, right, to learn about the Crimson Fleet. So they've like polish that place up and have it like as an actual like fortified like base of the Order of the Bitter Curtain. And you guys also see, you probably pass by the old Porphyry House, the prostitution place that the Blood Sisters had as like a safe house. The that one lady who was like a half nymph, half fiend or whatever she was, who like stole a hair from Anna and to make like a simulacrum. That is abandoned. It looks like it's just kind of sitting empty right now. And when you get to the Minting House, you see, we see you guys all walk in. Zondalan is there with you guys, and you walk in. And you see a couple of like the Order of the Bitter Curtain people who you had met with previously. That I don't remember the names off the top of my head, but there was like a whole other group of people here who had their own names and things that were going on that you met a while back. But we see those people first, and they are like conferring with the Jade Ravens about something, and they look up and see you guys and are staring, and like nod and smile and like, oh yeah, it's good to see you, but like they haven't said anything yet. And then they look back at the Jade Ravens, and Tolan Gisburn is like has like it looks like a map of the nearby jungle on this island and like some sort of mountain, and he's describing like, and the seventh coil has their last base here, and if we strike here, we should be able to take them out once and for all. They have some sort of, and then he stops. He's like, "Are you guys listening?" And then he looks up, and then the other two look up. Right, Cascus, who they've now resurrected at this point. He was like dead, but they would have been able to get his body back and resurrect him. And Leandra, like puts a hand to her mouth and gasps, and then Zon is like standing there, like kind of like with just a lip smile. Right. He seems like there's a lot of emotion on his face, but he's just kind of standing there. And Tolan is just staring at him. And then he like walks over to the guy and just like gives him a big hug. And then Leandra like comes over and like, hugs him from behind. And Cascus also is like clapping him on the back and like, "Oh, it's good to see you, lad." And there's this reunion between all of them, and they talk, and there's a whole big conversation that has to happen where he's like, they have to, explain what happened and how he's back and all that stuff and what they've been up to. That happens, between them. But it does seem like the Jade Ravens say, like, with the help of the Order of the Bitter Curtain, we've been able to push out most of the evil factions here. And like the Jade Ravens were high-level adventurers too, and they've spent their time since you left them. This is the thing they've done, right? They have slowly like won this city back from the cruel, evil people who were oppressing the citizens here. And it does sound like they say, we have one stronghold left. The Seventh Coil is the only faction that has remained, with a foothold on this island, and we've run them out of the city, but they still have their stronghold in the hills here. And I think Tolan says, we're on our way to go take the fight to them. Can we count on you?
Are we gonna quest with our old mentor people that aren't not mentor, but you're
peers?
Audrin, please let us go on a quest real quick, please. Can we side story, Audrin, please?
Yeah. Audrin just like, You know how important our mission is. So I'd say that we'd better get to the seventh coil. Seventh coil?
The Seventh Coil is the name of the faction, yeah.
I think we need to get to their last base as soon as we possibly can, so we can move on with the stuff that we're already involved with. What do you say, Takewee?
I mean, I think you know how I feel about snakes, so.
Never trust a snake. Deli?
If we're going, we're going.
Audrey doesn't even say Anna's name. He just looks.
Something I know what I'm supposed to do with. I know how to fight things.
Exactly.
I don't know how to do all this lady stuff, but I know how to fight.
Oh. That's Lisa.
Oh, no. Well, on that note, how about we take a quick break? Because I don't actually have a map or anything prepared for this. I kind of knew I was going to have to wing it, but it'd be nice, especially if Alyssa just dropped out. It'd be nice to have a couple of minutes to put that together. So let's go ahead and take a break here, and we'll be back in just a little bit with more Terra Invicta right after this. See you around.